God is always speaking. And there's people that don't believe that God always speaks. And I know when I was like deeply putting myself in a position to, you know what I'm saying, really pressing in, really seeking God, really, you know, in tune with God's spirit, God always speaks. I'm telling you, you just have to put yourself in a position to hear from God. God always speaks. You know, even in God's silence, he's speaking. So yeah, there's a time when God is silent through the test. And in that he's still speaking. But God always speaking. I remember, like I said, I remember just being in a place where I was just consecrated unto the Lord. You see what I'm saying? Just fully, I want to say emerged, fully connected to God. You see what I'm saying? To the extent that I can. And I was just hear from God, being able to release words just bite to bite. Because I was in tune with God. So when the person say, or people say that God don't always speak, you see what I'm saying? Like, they always got a mess. They always got this thing. Like God always speaking to them. Yeah, if you connected to God, if you are in tune with God, you can hear from God. You can literally have that same relationship and hear from God, be in tune with God. And then doing that, guess what? Your gifts begin to flow. Your gifts begin to be connected. Your gift, discernment is strong. It begins to kick in. The gifts that God placed on the side of you begin to be stirred up. Worship and all of being connected to Jesus Christ, being connected to the vine, staying connected, you will hear God in a greater way. You will hear God regular, like you can hear people when you call people and talk to people, or you're around people, you hear them talk, you can hear God speak to you. Rather, God chooses you to speak to you audibly, however way God chooses to speak to you, God is speaking. But the first place, I want you to understand what God speaks in his word. That's why the devil fight us a whole lot to try to keep us distracted, or try to keep us not wanting to get in the word, because that is the main place, that is the first place God want to deal with you and speak to you. That place, and in prayer, God want to speak to you. So never abandon prayer, never abandon reading your word, because I'm telling you, those are the most places where God began to speak to you. I'm telling you, you can be asleep and God begin to speak to you. God begin to download things into your spirit. I'm telling you, it's a magnificent thing. And I'm telling you, I want to get back into that place where I'm totally in tune with God, to the point where, hey, don't you want to get there? Let's get there.